On the on the last episode of Oliver's Wish, Pony Waffles for the Holidays, Oliver had discovered a secret map hidden inside a waffle, leading to a hidden treasure trove of magical singing cranberries. In his quest, he was joined by a wisecracking squirrel named Gerald, who claimed to be an expert in interpretive dance and waffle making. Their adventure took a wild turn when they accidentally stumbled into a parallel universe where holidays were celebrated every day, and waffles were the primary currency. Gang, I am not Oliver. I am Wicks. So, it's been a little while since I gave a little update. The good, the bad, the ugly, where to begin. I can tell you this, we seek excellence and precision. The holidays are not actually on the line. I have some pretty bad news. I actually failed my first attempt at the CompTIA Core 1 exam. I'm just as shocked as you. I booked it with 4 days notice, and then I spent the weekend going pretty crazy studying. I failed it by about 20 points. So, not the news that I wanted to deliver today, but at the same time, I'm going to retake it again. I'm not going to give up. So it happens from time to time. The other great news, though, my friends, is that I actually have submitted my packet for my ICE AC graduation, which is a project I don't even think that I talked about in my last video, even though this project has been a major project for about 14 months now, at least. So it's an amazing thing to be getting closer to the finish line on it, and I'm very excited to know that I'm going to dial it in. I'm going to really dial it in on my information technology studies, especially since it didn't cut it. It happens. Now I have a 4-day week here as a teacher. I'm going to be bringing my kids to the midway point of the school year, which is pretty exciting. I'm teaching 2 classes. I'm teaching emotional and social learning, which has been great. A lot of times I certainly didn't learn about that officially in middle school. You just learned that by socializing with people, but I've been talking to kids about the factors that influence their development, such as their community, the way they feel about themselves, the way their family and their friends, all that make them feel. And there's just these pretty advanced methods of recognizing how your emotions and your thoughts can all kind of interact with the world around you. And that can either be pretty pleasant or it can be pretty unpleasant. If you want to get a little fancy, I love to talk about Yuri Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems model. I learned it in college when I was sitting in a classroom with people who were going to be teachers. I didn't really know I was going to be a teacher, but I just love it. Maybe we'll talk about it another day, but they're not the first ones to feel misunderstood, or they're not the first ones to have good and bad days. They're not the first one to feel pressure pulling them in all these different directions. And one of the only things that we can do in order to develop is to ask ourselves, what types of these pressures are helping us? What types of these pressures are not helping us? Do we want to be working further with these pressures and kind of being the person that they want us to be? Or would you like to sort of carve out your own leadership path and go in a direction that society might not necessarily be telling you to go in? So it's kind of fancy, but it's been a lot of fun, and I just took a class and juiced it up. It's been a lot of fun. The other class that I teach is about careers and employment. That's been fun and a little bit challenging because I don't think middle schoolers right now are tapped in to a language that makes this intuitively exciting. So it's been pretty cool though. We just basically zone in on different career clusters to show them about what different job paths they can go towards. Career clusters is just a whole bunch of jobs pushed together into a cluster so that we can talk about it more easily. Not too bad, man, not too bad. 4 days in and out, and then the next weekend I'm going to try to take CompTIA again. I'm also checking out some really cool partnerships with some really fantastic people. You know what, I'm excited. Let me share a little bit of heart rather than just reading you off my list. I realized that I have a backup plan for a backup plan for a backup plan for a backup plan for a backup plan, and it would seem to make no sense except that I do love to grow. I am a lifelong learner, and I do have faith that the effort that I put in gives me far more compound benefits, growth, all these new skills and instincts, and I appreciate that process. It's literally true that I signed up for too much stuff at once, but at the same time, like I said, I signed up for it, so can't be that bad, can it? Like, all I gotta do is just keep walking. The problem is that when I have my backup for my backup for my backup, and when I am achieving something and then instantly putting 2 projects in its place, I create this critical mess that I've forced myself to endure. And then I get kind of good at the things that I originally set out to get kind of good at. And then the wonderful people that I've been working with are helping. They would like more gigs and jobs and fantastic collaborations. And now what have I done? I surrounded myself with 19 different things to do. So something's got to give, and I'm excited to tell you that I am identifying the need for these partnerships, and I'm identifying the need to collaborate, to get out of my own head and to not be a lone wolf. If you want to go, what do they say? If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with the team. And so I'm looking to build some dream teams, and I'm looking to get myself out of my swamp. And so in my next 2 weeks, we should hopefully have some really fantastic updates concerning my failure today, and also concerning some of the projects that I've got in the works right now. It's actually worth mentioning that January is slated as the most difficult month of my year so far. There's just so much going on in January. So we made it through the first part. I get to go through another 2 weeks. And again, hopefully I got some really good news to share in 2 weeks, because no matter what, just the sheer completion of some of these projects and the fact that I made it to the other side, it's great news. Seriously amazing news. So what else we got going on? My fake hook. Stick with me to the end of this video and I'll show you how to laugh at your own failure, learn from the experience, and sprint through bottlenecks like the Kool-Aid man through drywall. Yeah, that's the attempt, right? Realistically, I didn't like how it felt to have failed, but again, I'm trying to cut myself some slack. Sometimes I believe there's like no delays that are acceptable because I sign up for such impossible missions, but you can't do everything perfectly. You can't do everything right the first time. Sometimes the things that give you the biggest headache when you're trying to learn them become the things that you retain for the longest time that become important later on in your journey. So CompTIA, I'm not done on that one yet. Apparently there's a little bit more to learn in the old CompTIA, and I'm excited to learn those things that I must learn. And I guess my new goal, I'll share with you the internet, is that I hope to get both CompTIAs done by February 1st. I have no idea whether or not I can tell you that's going to happen. I feel like the remaining gap for CompTIA Core 1 is just to become more familiar with more of the granular nitty-gritty details, such as actual products within each of these hardware spaces and categories, and just little things like that until I'm really familiar with it. Core 2, I think I'm going to do okay on Core 2. I mean, maybe I'm a little too optimistic. Looks like some people on the internet have had a harder time with Core 2. But it feels like, whatever, bro. I can't speculate much. It is what it is. We're going to just figure it out as we go. It's an exciting time. It's an exciting time. There's been a lot of moments where if I was, to quote the Bible, there's been a lot of moments where if I would have just stopped and paused for a moment, that I would have turned into a pillar of salt. Maybe I just would have broken down. Maybe I just would have been overwhelmed. Maybe I would have realized how impossible it was what I was trying to achieve. Maybe I would have realized that there were some coping mechanisms coming in and trying to make me kind of like be a better man faster than the problems could arise as a global pandemic reaches peak contagion. So I'm coming down to earth and realizing the difference between healthy and unhealthy motivational patterns and healthy and unhealthy measurements of personal sense of duty and like urgency to get involved in stuff. So crazy thing is right now, doesn't really matter what I learned. I can't really change anything for 148 days. So there's going to be 148 days where you can still expect some semi-regular episodic updates. Not really about Oliver and his pony waffles, but definitely about me, hopefully looking less tired, hopefully looking less fatigued, hopefully looking less locked up in the dungeon as I try to learn so many new things at once. And I don't really do a great job scripting. If I did a better job scripting, I would be better at catching you up to all the things that I've been trying to do these last few years, but it sounds like an exhausting idea to even do that. And so I think I just got to keep my eye on the prize, keep myself where I am, walking one step at a time. I am certainly in Western Governors University studying for my second bachelor's degree in information technology. My best efforts over the weekend were not enough to lock me in the victory for CompTIA Core 1. Like I said, I do have ITIL, so praise the Lord on that. I've still got only 17 more courses to get through, and ICE AC is a big one. So I'm grateful and happy to be able to help out my friends in their video edit and to get them everything that they need so that they can pass this program as well. I pray that I pass this program, of course. I still am being judged as we speak, actually. And so 4 days in and out, and I'm back in the weekend, and I'm really excited to take this course and to shatter this course. There's so many incredible things that God's trying to do in my life, and I am messing it up by not meeting the standards. And it affects way more in my life than just CompTIA, but looking at CompTIA specifically, it's going to call for a more confident and knowledgeable version of me who feels that he's seen it all. Because the second that I popped into that test, I knew that we were in for a problem when they started giving me questions that were just totally formatted differently than I had been studying for. The performance-based questions, probably, that was like a gut punch at the beginning. So you know what that means again, like I'm kind of new at this. So I act like I'm not new at this, and I've taken courses in the past that were much closer to my skill set. That's not today. And I can't wait to go and learn more things, to go and close the knowledge gap. I'm not tired. I'm not fatigued. I'm actually relieved. And and I'm thrilled that the first 2 weeks of this incredible year have already taken place. Now, even though I'm at a low point in some cases and in some ways, I also feel like I'm flying high. I also feel like I'm feeling every emotion. A lot of emotions are coming to the surface that I haven't felt them these last few years, actually. For good, for better or for worse, but I think all for better, really. In the meantime, it might feel like for worse, but I think the healing process has taken place. I feel a lot more, much more mature in my perspective, and less ballistic. During COVID-19, I was ballistic, very ballistic, totally offset. So I hope to come back to earth a little bit here now, and I hope to at least be very, very anchored, focused, driven, and enduring, because it's going to be a lot of work still to be performed. It's kind of late. I have to actually go to sleep pretty soon, get ready for a nice day tomorrow. So I'm not really going to script this, and I'm not really going to make a big deal about improving each video. In fact, I'd love your feedback. If you can tell me how I can improve the videos, you let me know. I just wanted to honor my commitment, at least get on here for a moment, make some kind of update, and even just be honest that I failed. Because not all journeys are just uphill. You know, some journeys start off bad, actually. This isn't even one of those journeys. It's not that big of a deal. Nobody likes to fail outright, because I'm not sugarcoating it. But a failure is a failure, and a failure teaches you the most sometimes. And let's just see what that motivation does for me. That's all I'm going to say right now. Might work out better in the long run. So I think that's it for me. You're checking it out. Thanks for checking it out. I guess I don't have too much more going on. I have better energy when I'm winning. But in the meantime, we ain't never giving up. I hope that you honor your goals. I hope you stick to your goals, whatever those goals may be. I hope that you do what makes you happy. I hope that you push forward triumphantly, creating a standard for how things can be changed by just 1% at a time. And I just hope that you persevere one day after another. Even if your plans change, even if your goals change, even if your feelings change, at least you can know that you had the courage to create hope in the world and fight on its behalf, so that rather than just kind of rolling over in complaints and just joining in with that kind of thing, you pick something in this life that you are passionately driven by, and you endure this process even on the bad days where you feel that you failed, just like today. So that's how we do in this. It's 2024. This is a brand new year. We're getting faster as we go. We're learning new lessons as we go. We're getting stronger as we go. And yes, we're taking our failures and we're turning them into life lessons. So thanks for checking this out. I know I don't got no bells and whistles. It's not too shiny and polished right now, but I'll keep it authentic. I'll keep it real, and hopefully you start to see a big smile on my face in a few months, because we're putting in the work. Catch you on the next one.